Well, Molly, this story starts with our little Circle K up from the house, and the reason it does is finally I got a hold of some tapes yesterday when we were at Walmart, and I've just brought a little car up here that I talked to Evelyn into buying, and then she wound up getting another car that she liked better, and we're trying to sell this one. I'll even show you the car in just a minute. But anyway, this is the Circle K, about a quarter mile from the house. That's the street that leads back to my office. I live 4.5 miles from my office. And as you come on around, heading back, that's almost due north. And that's going west, and I hope you can tell it's going uphill. As you can probably tell here somewhere, right there. That's going to be the new road. They're straightening that mess out right there. There's been a lot of accidents over a period of years. Going out to a college, about a half mile out there, a little community college. I don't know if you can tell in this picture, but right up there, just before you get to that house and whatever, turn back to the right, go down that way, goes to Berry Hill School, where Jeremy graduated this year. Now there is a picture of the little car we're getting rid of. It's a little Dodge Shadow convertible. For a few more dollars, we could have got a red one. Okay, this is looking dead south, right back towards my house. And I got this camera zeroed in as far as I can. That fence that you hopefully can see in the distance, that white fence, is about a quarter mile away. That's where I'm headed here in a minute. So that's looking back south on 61st West Avenue. That's a north and south street, 61st West Avenue. The streets in Tulsa are kind of hard to get a handle on because there's lots of them numbered. For example, directly behind me right now is an east-west street called 41st. So you see they number them north and south and east and west. I hear a car approaching. I hope it don't hit me. I think it went around. It's probably a neighbor. Anyway, that's the road to my house, and I'm hoofing it back down through there intentionally to get some pictures for you guys. Here we go. I'll turn her back on in a minute. The scissor tail flew. There he goes. I think we got some walking. I don't know what those are. Maybe they're baby scissors. I don't know. Anyway, birds. Just saw them sitting on the high line. Thought I'd get them for you. Well, I didn't get it in the picture because I was hunting for them, but those are baby scissor tails, and that was the mother, and she just flew back with a big worm and fed it to one of them. So that's what's going on there. It's feeding time on the high wire for those scissor tails. That happens to be the state bird in Oklahoma. A baby scissor tail. He just flew. They're able to fly, but Mama's still feeding them. There's Mama. She flew off again. Yeah, she'll be back with something for them to eat in a minute. There she is, apparently just resting. Pretty bird. State bird of Oklahoma. Another baby. Well, as you know, I live at 4403 South 61st West Avenue, and so you can see both landmarks right there. Now, they don't put signs down where I live, but that's 42nd Street. Now that street runs east and west, and of course I'm walking down 61st, which is a north-south street. Now I'm going south on it. Here we go. Well, I stopped again just beyond 42nd Place. Here in Tulsa, in this area of town, you have 42nd Street, 42nd Place, 43rd Street, and so on. I don't know if you can see it, but there's 43rd Street. The reason I've stopped here is because, as you can see, we're getting in the country. Here to the right's a cow pasture. That's sort of a jungle with a cow pasture. This is all a part of the old original farm that I've got the farmhouse on. Still got a few neighbors here. There's still a couple of 300 yards before you get to the house. You can see my fence in the distance. See our sign there that I put up. Someone knocked down and then the county put it back up. What happened here is that this was a dedicated road to a point. Well, the records prove that it never did come across the property that I own, so we stopped people from going through there. So quite frankly, that makes me living at the end of the road, and I kind of like that. I'm going to shut this thing down and walk a little farther. There's our sign again, because from here forward it's really all private property. As you can probably see, right along in there somewhere about them mailboxes, we run out of pavement. That's where the county and the city quits taking care of things. From there on in, it's your road. If you want it cleaned up or fixed up, you take care of it. Right there at those mailboxes is where I get my mail, and you can probably see that newspaper laying on the ground. That road going on into the house was so bad for years that the newspaper man wouldn't even go up there, so he got in the habit of leaving it at the mailbox. If you want your paper, you got to come down to the mailbox to get it. That fence there leads over to a man's house named Clayton Davidson. The way he fits into this whole picture, if anyone cares, I bought this old place off of Miss Thelma Bond, and at one time Mrs. Davidson was married to their son. Well, that wound up in a divorce. She remarried an old boy named Davidson, nice fellow, and they wound up buying an acre of ground right there and putting a house on it, right here next to the Bond family for some reason. I don't know just why. Anyway, that's the basic story. There's the entrance to the cow pasture, and I don't know if we can see any cows out there or not. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Someone's approaching me on my left over here. That's a little development. Again, all of this was a part of an original old farm that I now have the farmhouse to. That's my fence going around the driveway to my house. I'll walk a little more. Well, apparently I was walking with the darn thing on, so no telling what you got. Anyhow, this is Clayton's place. Clayton Davidson and his wife, who is the ex-wife of the Bond boy who is dead now. But that's his joint. And you see these ties laying here? I can vouch for however damn one of them got there, because I put them there. This road was washing from west over there to east over there. We spent a bunch of money getting it trimmed down, smoothed up, lined out. Then we put ties in on that side. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's still a pretty rough road. But it's so much better than it was. I told you there was a cow pasture out here. Yes, I'm like I got another neighbor coming out. I see something coming in the distance. I can't tell what it is. I think this might be my preacher neighbor, Orville Bryant. I think that's his Lincoln. Well, I let that car pass, and it was Miss Bryant. He's a Pentecostal preacher, but he's about one of the finest guys I've ever seen in my life. Told you this was a cow pasture. Right across from the house. There's our meters for our gas out in this area, and as you can tell, they're set out in that cow pasture, and that's because the road is not on the line down through here, because it's not a city road. The road actually ought to straddle the ditch that we got. In other words, the road, instead of being there, ought to be there. But it's not dedicated, so they don't have any right to put a road through here. That's good in some ways and terrible in others, because we're responsible. Now, I'm swinging back here to the east, back to Clayton's house. Give one more shot of that little fella, just so you can get your bearings. Come up here. You notice there's a road back to the left there. I'll stop till I get there and I'll tell you about that. Okay, this road and that house that you see out there, I don't know how well you can see it, but that is Ronnie and Sandra Jones' old place. Now, Sandra was the youngest daughter of Mr. and Miss Thelma Bond, and they lived here. She lived here all her life till last May. Her and her husband retired and moved to Las Vegas, where one of her kids live. But this little road right here, across that little bridge out there, and then back to the right into their driveway. And that's where they raised 3 kids and sent them all 3 to college. At least the third one's going now. And this little area out front here, there's a telephone pole. But this little field right here is where they first lived, as I understand it. They had a little mobile home here, in this little field, when they were a whole lot younger. There's more cows, and there's my fence again. We're going to get there. This is the first shot of the house, across that brush pile there. We're mighty proud of that rural brush pile. Actually, that's where all the neighbors has trimmed up trees around their house, and we've trimmed up the road going into the house and everything. We've piled it up there, and in this county, you can't just burn when you want to. You have to get a permit, and it can't be anything but brush. You can't even have a painted board or a piece of paper in it if they know it. You do have to have a permit, and then you have to tell them when you're going to do it, and they'll tell you if it's okay or not. Of course, from time to time we cheat on that, but we try not to let them know. They don't like that much. That's the front steps to the house. A little bush or 2 staked out between here and there. And then here's the road again. Look at that old stump. I'll get you a picture of the neighbor's cows. Yeah. A little calf beller, and he's probably got a mama he can't find immediately. They get out in the street here every now and then. I put one back in yesterday. But since this is a dead-end road, there's not a lot of danger unless they get all the way back up at that Circle K, and that's about a 1/4 mile. As a matter of fact, I'm going to spin right around here slowly. There's my house. Now I'm turning left to go back north, looking about due east here. Find the old Jones house here in a minute. Of course, you just can't see it. It's right through there, but you probably can't see a thing. There's the high line going to it for the woods. Just swing on around. Now there's this Clayton's place right there. And then right there's the road. I'm looking back due north from where I just walked, narrating this story for you. Swing right back around. I'm heading back to the right and back south. There's northeast. About somewhere along in there is about due east. And then southeast is getting back over to my joint. Swinging right on around, and there we are looking back down the road, almost due south. Now right here you notice the road forks. This little fork here to the left will go down to Mr. Bryant's house, or it'll take you around behind my house, because you can circle all the way around my house to get to my house. See how we laid them ties down through there? That's the yard. There's the house again. And I'll walk a little further. Well, I didn't go far because I wanted you to see these animals from a distance. As you can see, there's a pen there. I got a deer looking me over. That's Daisy. She don't know who it is out here. And them white things are my geese. They're only about 6, 8 weeks old, but they sure are big. I hear Brutus talking in the background. See my brush pile here. I'm shining right over the edge of it. I don't know how well you can tell what's in that pen from here. Anyway, we'll see them all close up later. That's my deer pen. It's kind of north, a little northeast of the house. There's the house again. Look at them squirrels. We feed them all the time. Sometimes you'll see 6 or 8 in a pile out there. Cat likes to chase them, but he hadn't tried to really actually catch one. Well, we're getting closer here. There's my fence, my driveway, a little bridge right there. It's trying to wash out right in there. Circling the house. I'm swinging back around from a southerly view, back around here to due east, right down this road here to Mr. Bryant's place. Now, this little place right here is a little mobile home where those cars are sitting. Mr. Bryant owns that. He'd like to get rid of it. We'd like him to. You can't see his house. I don't think it's right behind those trees, but there's his car junk pile. That's his driveway. He does a lot of trading. Here's old Bossy, I guess that's her name. That'll do till someone tells me different. She's just kind of standing here in the shade looking big. Neighbor's cow. Yeah, you can see Daisy if that tree don't block her out. You can see old Brutus in the background. They don't either one know what's going on, so they're talking. The Rottweiler and the deer. Brutus! Well, this is kind of a good time, bad time. There's a lot of undergrowth out and foliage out at this time of the year, and it's hard to show you the place. Trees in the way, but here it is. That front porch is a favorite of mine. That's the south side of the house right there. There's a bedroom behind that window. Big old living room there. And then down on this end, behind that tree there where that partial of that window sticking out, is the dining room, big old dining room. And then right out there again is that deer pen. You can see my white fence running around behind the house. What I've got here is a PVC pipe fence that we built that encircles the house, goes all the way around behind it. And we didn't put it all the way around the house, just around behind it, and then it comes right down this side over here, as you can see. We're almost to the end of it on this side right there. We'll walk that road in a minute. I'm looking back north now, and I'm going to give you one more shot of where I've just walked and talked. That's the driveway out of my house hitting the street, and I don't know if you can tell it from here, but there's some road signs in the distance. And where those road signs are at in the distance is where that Circle K is that I just walked away from to start this whole thing. Got a car coming down the road, and they're going up it, one or the other. It might be going up it. It's hard to tell when you're looking through this peep finder. And anyway, from there to here, it's going up it. I seen him hit his brake light. There to here is where I've been. He's getting ready to turn out on 41st Street up there, I would guess. I'm about a quarter mile back away from everything. There's Clayton's house, all drawn up in this viewfinder. Ooh, I bet that'll make you dizzy looking at that. And there's my front porch. I'm standing up. There's where my fence starts. See, this was a road down through here, and I blocked it off. And since I blocked it off, we've had a little peace and quiet around here in this neighborhood. That's the fence going around my driveway that I put in. Actually, I didn't do much of it. I had it done. This is the south side of the house. There's the house, south yard area. And most all that area out in there goes with this 20 acres. There's a fence up there, a couple of 300 yards, but for mostly what you can see, it goes with it. There used to be a great big red barn sitting just beyond them little trees right there. As a matter of fact, you can see my beehive sitting out there. It was sitting, would have been, that beehive's due south of me, and just to the left or just east of that beehive is where that big old red barn would have been. Great big as the house, red barn. Sits right in there. That big old tree right there was on one end of it, kind of out on the end of it. There's one of my hives of bees. I got 5. Boat sitting in the backyard. That's a dogwood bush that I took out of the woods. I had several of them, and Jeremy cut them down with a lawnmower. But that one survived and had blooms this year for the first time. Big old shaded yard out here is a good place to put a dogwood in. Might notice I got a branch running down in front of my house. It's a wet weather branch. It's running kind of out of the southwest and running back to the northeast here. There's the old Jones place across over there. It's further away than it looks. See that, and then there's my place. Now remember, the mother and dad lived here in the good old days. Daughter and son-in-law lived there. I told you on the phone yesterday how Evelyn had cleaned the place up and made it look better. There's one of her little projects, that flower bed right there. There's one to match it just on the other side of the porch. As you can see, you got the porch, and then you got that indention, and then you got this indention. And by the way, there's our garden for this year, sitting there in the corner of the house. There's 5 tomato plants. Nothing happening with them yet. We're not really giving them a lot of sunlight. But they get all the water and horse manure they want. I guess if you use a tomato plant, that wouldn't be all bad. In the shade and part of the day, and all the water and shit you want. There's Leslie's little old car she's had forever. She needs to get rid of it, but she just can't bring herself to do it. Evelyn's car. That's why we're getting rid of the red one. She's got that one. Got a big front yard, just like I always wanted. I always wanted to be close to town, but in the country, and I finally accomplished it. I can be downtown in 7 minutes if it's a hurry, and 10 if it's not. I don't get bothered out here, hardly at all. I really think I live in the country. Our horses today are over in Mr. Bryant's pasture because a piece of the electric fence got knocked down, and he just put them over there in the pasture. We share pastures and everything around here. We're going to let them graze on his pasture a little while. Then we'll put them back in mine. We'll see them though on this video before I quit. This is a south view looking back north. I'm looking north, standing south of the house. That's the front corner there. In other words, that's the southwest corner. My house faces kind of west. I guess you figured that out. There's an apple tree, hybrid some kind. It isn't producing this year. Coming around to the back of the house, as you can see, it's L-shaped. There's a garage, and there's my old pickup. Her little car, and at the corner of the boat again. So kind of give you an idea where we're at. That building right behind the pickup's what we call the old stone building. Evelyn and I spent about 8 hours out there the other day cleaning that dude out. That's a burn pile where we burn things in the backyard that we're not supposed to burn. Still more yard, swinging back around, and you'll get a glimpse of the fence going on back kind of east here. Out there's some corrals, or lots, whatever you want to call them, I've built out of that PVC pipe. They're not too sturdy, but they look nice. And if you can tell in the distance, that's the road I just walked down. I walked almost due south for about a quarter mile, and then I swung back to my left around to the east, and I'm standing in that driveway right here. See where she swings back east, and now I'm looking back west, coming right on around right over the top of this fence. Back around, and bees ought to be right out there somewhere if I can spot them. I guess that's them right there, isn't it? Yeah. I noticed, I was telling you on the phone, that the shumac's all gone, but look right up yonder. I'm pretty sure, I'm a long ways from that, but I think that's a sumac thicket. I hope it is, and I hope it's producing a ton of honey. Some kind of little bird on the fence, I don't know just what. Can't tell a lot about anything looking through this viewfinder. That mess right there is an oil well. You'd think I was an oil baron, or it's actually a gas well. But it don't produce a lot. And then what it does produce, the old boy produces, it steals most of that, so leaves us with very little. Not worth taking him to court over and fighting. Probably spend $10,000 and not get anything out of it. Now that horse right there belongs to Evelyn's daddy. He bred that mare to a Palomina. She likes Palominas, and he's got what looks like it's going to be a pretty decent little old Palomina colt. I think you can maybe see it laying behind her out there. We'll go get him up in a minute. Well, there's my tractor. Well, being a major farmer, owning 20 acres and all, you got to have a tractor, I guess. A box blade on it. I got all kinds of implements with that thing. It's a 4-wheel drive Ford diesel. And there's the barn I built behind it. Again, when I say I built it, I had it built. I don't have time to build anything, nor the smarts, probably. That was a mistake. I bought this barn kit from Payless Cashways, and I had to add on to it because it was basically a joke. Well, you live and you learn. You can see those old signs in the distance. One of the Bond family was in the sign rental business at one time, and I wound up with the remnants off of that. I've given a bunch of them away, but still got a few off down there. Beyond them signs, I got a pond in them woods down there. It's mostly a big fancy mud hole, but it's a pond. I don't know if you can tell it or not, but there's a dam right there. Now there's a big pond behind that, which used to be a part of this whole thing. I don't own that over in that area, but I wish I did. That second or third fence out there, second barbed wire fence, is south end of my property. There's the old mare again. She's not old, 4 or 5 years old, I guess. My tractor, Leslie's little car. There's that mobile home sitting out here that we're hoping Mr. Brown will get rid of. Lots of bushes. You can get a peek of the house through there. Now this old mare thinks she's going to get something to eat, sure as the world. She nickered, and I didn't get that on the deal. She was wild as a March hare when she came here. It's her first baby. Hi, baby. Hi, girl. Well, that's her offspring. She realizes we feed her and don't hurt her, so she's real friendly now. She's never been rode. First time she'd ever had a halter put on her was when he brought her down here for us to take care of this baby. Might see that scar on his nose. We had a little halter on him, and he's outgrowed it. Now, he's just a big old play pretty. He don't know that he's supposed to be wild and mean, little stud horse. Hi, guy. I'm patting this old horse on the side. A month ago when she come here, you couldn't touch her. As a matter of fact, she tried to bite. She don't know how to kick, or at least she never indicated she did. What are you doing, old gal? You're not afraid of this picture? Huh? You're standing so close you're ruining the picture. I'm gonna have to back off a little bit here. Where she can't get to me. Bathtub feeders. Fancy, fancy, fancy. You can see Lillian with his head stuck around. Back off a little, let us see the baby. That's the one we want to see anyway. Hi, guy. Hi, Pooker. Come here, you little stinker. Now, I noticed my battery says it's half down, and it says we've used up 30 minutes of this tape. That's hard for me to believe. Maybe we have. There's another shot of the barn, shot of the corrals, or lots, or whatever you want to call them. There's some bee stuff laying there that I've never put away. I can run over the fence here and lean over it. There's a gate we built out of this PVC. I'm probably going to zero in on my haystack down here. Leftover hay from the winter. That PVC pipe fence you see right there, that's my north line, pretty close. In the neighborhood of old mobile home again, my barn. And just beyond my barn, you can get a corner of Mr. Bryant's house down there, and then the mountains in the background, which are really just good-sized hills. Church bus. His fine-looking fence compared to my 2 and 3 barbs slung up. There's another, I don't know if you can see it, but right down in that corner there, there's another well. It produces pretty good, but again, we don't make anything off of it because what it does get made, he steals, the producer. It's a pretty good shot of that little colt. He's shedding off that cold hair. We don't know what he's really going to look like. I think he's going to be a dark gold, though, with a white mane and tail. We think. He's a cute little booger. Skinned that left hind leg up pretty bad the other day. Mama just bumped something and scared him. That ain't even our horse, remember, but the colt is. It's Evelyn's. But that's not one of my horses. My horses are kind of across the driveway back to my north here. In Mr. Bryant's pasture right now. I'll get you a picture of the, ooh. You can hear my martins. I love martins. Trying to find my martin house. There it is. You probably can see it easier than me. That's the main martin house right there. Then we got one right here that's been here a year or two longer, but it don't seem to be attracting them this year. Probably something wrong that I didn't know about. Sparrows mostly, I would guess. But anyway, they're still out here in the area, cruising and a-coasting. This is a shot from kind of southeast of the house. There's the boat that you seen the back of earlier. And there's the back of the house. That part of the house is facing back kind of east, a little bit southeast. And back door. Another back door. And then there's the garage. And there's that stone building we cleaned out. You can see some of our mess is still laying out here. And here's my driveway back out, going back north. And it intersects out there with the driveway going down to Mr. Bryant's house. If you go to the right, this way, you go down to his house, right there. You go back to the left, back around the corner of the deer pen, by the way. You go back to the street, be going west, see, and then you turn back to the right or north and go back out to the Circle K. This is the entrance to the garage, with no door on it, of course. This is a farm, you know. And it's got just about the proper amount of junk in it. Not quite. It's a little thin right now. Needs a little more stuff. There's trash and fishing stuff. A lot of that come out of there. Here's some stuff we're going to probably take up to the shop or give to Goodwill. This sign right here was going to be hung on the lake house dock, but it never got put up. And we're just going to get rid of it, I guess, since I don't have the lake house anymore. This building right here performs as our cellar in a bind. We'd crawl in there if a tornado came. It might take the top off of it, but I doubt seriously it'd move these rocks much. There's some extra fencing for deer pen. Oh, and my brush hog. Got to see my brush hog. I got a brush hog and a post hole digger and a garden tiller. And let's see, what else? Box blade, fertilizer distributor, and what's called an estate mower. It's a mower that you can mow your lawn with. All come with that tractor. A fine assortment of equipment. Should be enough to keep someone working on it all the time. Come here, Brutus. Come here, Brutus. You big pretty mutt. Brutus is a Rottweiler, and he don't know he's supposed to be mean, so therefore he's not. He's pretty calm and cool and collected and just likes to play. We keep him in a pen, though, because his play can knock you down. He can be playing with a chicken or something and just play bite it and kill it. So he has to stay in a pen to keep from killing it. There's his house. Now the camera's pointed west right now. There's Brutus. Trying to see if I can locate another animal or two through the fence here. There's a rabbit case. We've got a baby, kind of a baby rabbit in there. He's not big enough to make it with the other animals. This is the deer pen, the east side of the deer pen along the driveway. That's Heidi. And here's Kidder. That's a tomcat that Jeremy found when he's about the size of the cat's head now. Kidder's a fine animal. He likes to eat a baby bird occasionally, but he stays home pretty well. Don't go out bothering the neighbors. Other than eating a baby bird, which he shouldn't ought to do, but he's a pretty good animal other than that. Him and this Heidi dog, they play a lot. They chase each other. She chases him till he stops and then she turns. I don't much care for cats, and I don't want a house cat. That one's alright. He took to me, so I had to take to him. We've had him going on 4 years now. He just hangs around here, watches after things. Heidi, she's a house dog. She don't much know about this farming business, but she seems to like what she does know. Beyond here, now that's Mr. Bryant's pasture. We're getting back to the north side of my property, and you can see these mules. I'm going to walk out there and give you close-ups. Those two horses right there are mine. That one on your right is a 20-some, 22, 23-year-old cutting horse. Actually, in his prime, he won a little money as a cutting horse. He's just as simple as he can be. I'm running out of battery, so any minute this may quit. Now let's go get another battery. The one on the left has got a long line of breeding. She's a mare about 12 years old. Both of them are decent to ride. We bred her and she had her first colt, but it was dead. Too big. She's a pretty thing, and he ain't bad looking for a 23-year-old. She's about 12 and he's about 23. Now that one right there belongs to Orville McBride, the old boy from over at Big Cedar. And it's supposed to be a good riding horse, built more like a good skidding horse. Someone's coming at me here. Well, I moved in a little bit on these horses. I'm getting low. That mule, he's more interested. He's interested in coming up here and seeing what this is all about. Hopefully grub. Mr. Brown's got 4 or 5 mules. About the time I started threatening that it was going to go out, it went out. I went in and got the new battery and come back out. Got another chance to shoot that little colt. He's wanting to lay down and rest a while. Well, here's those two horses again. This time the mare, the young one's on the right, and the old fella's on the left. They're just kind of standing there. They're probably praying for a handout. They're down here at the fence as far as they can go. They're probably praying for a handout too. Daisy approaching back there in the background. Over here, Sylvie. Just a second. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here, Nevada. Pepsi, come here. Come on. Come here. They're not too interested. They're probably afraid it might be riding time. Something they just soon avoid, if at all possible. Now, these mules and the old white animal named Boogers, they're going to chance that there's grub and no riding involved. It was just about in my pocket when I backed off a little bit here. The face on that mule. Can you imagine that being a riding animal? The way he's built. He's built stout. Boogers, what are you doing? There's Nevada. That's my horse. He's, again, 20-some years old. Pretty slicked out for a 23-year-old, I believe it is. And Pepsi's the other side of him. She's a pretty animal. She's real stocky built. Not been handled enough to know very much. Not going to learn very much from the likes of me. I don't know very much either. Evelyn knows a little bit about horses. That place right there belongs to Wendell Drake. Everybody calls him Butch. He's the guy I was in business with for a while and traded him my lake house, him and two other guys, my lake house, for the business that we were all four in. Here's a kid's playhouse, his kids. Anyway, you've seen pretty much the horse crop. He's got some mules down there that I don't think you've had a chance to lay an eye on. When I say he, Mr. Bryant. And I don't see them out of the corner of my eye anywhere, but they may be down there. If they are, they'll be right in there. Somewhere right in there. Mr. Bryant's house. And the mules would be right in that pasture there somewhere. I don't see them looking through this viewfinder. What's going on over here? We're doing a little nipping. Oh, we're doing a little nipping. Them ears laid back. I had to whop him on the butt to get him out of the way. He's kind of got the lazies. This mule's wanting to eat, I bet you. Kind of a thin one. Okay, we've been out northeast of the house. Now we're going to swing back around and look at it from this angle. You can probably hardly see it. There's the barn. Backyard and the house and the deer pen all right there. One more shot of the animals, all in a bunch there. Lightning struck to kill them all. Now he's beginning to show out a little. Hey guy, keep going. Let me get a little of his cutting up on the picture here. I thought I was going to have to shoo him to get him to do it. Go on. Get going. There's a little old fence there between. Come on, boy, get that tail down and run again. Come on. He's run out. Put the wrong button there. Come here, boy. Come here. Come on. Here's a shot of Daisy watching all this. Daisy, scratch your ear a little bit or head or something. We'll get in there where she's at in a minute. I couldn't resist a picture of all of them. The old mare right here in the foreground, a little cold over there on the right side of the picture, and then those other ones way out there. Mare, baby, and the big ones. Kidder up here in the garage. I want you to look at that target on the side of him there, bowing up at the dog when it goes by. Well, we're back up at the back of the house. There's Evelyn. I'm getting your picture, honey. Evelyn does all the work and I do all the play. I'm the photographer and she's working this morning. Loading my truck up with trash I'll have to haul off. I'll be scorned if I don't do it, so I'll do it. It's hard having to drive that truck off after she loads it up. Some of Evelyn's flowers. Here's your impatiens bed on the back side of the house. Elephant ears. Impatiens hanging basket with one right down below it so you don't use that water, see? Rose bushes that aren't exactly jumping with blooms at this time of the year. Garage needs a paint job. Evelyn will get around to that eventually. I'm on the north side of the house now, and this is kind of the back door. In the old days, I think most everything happened around on this side of the house. As I swing back to the right, that's almost due west right there. Come right on around, right on around, right on around. Right out there, right in that area right there was an old well. And I imagine like all old farmers and farmhouses in those days, the well was the center of attention. And I just got a feeling that under these trees, these are pecan trees for the most part. Lots of family type activities was around in the good old days. This was the backyard. One of Evelyn's flower gardens. Azaleas in the background there. And two different kinds of impatiens in the foreground here. She had something eaten on them, so she sprayed them yesterday. Some of them are looking rather poorly. And then there's a basket of rose moss, and there's some, I think those are petunias. The house didn't have central air in it, so I put it in. Or I had it put in, actually. And that is honeysuckle growed up around an old stump. Makes the stump look pretty, so we leave it there. It's entered the deer pen, where we immediately run up on Mr. Fox Squirrel, cleaning out probably the last remnants of the chicken feed. We got probably a dozen of those darn things around here. Daisy's over here playing with me, and the turkey's right under my feet. This thing zeroed in so far, I can't. There we go, there's the geese resting. We had an unfortunate accident yesterday. Daisy stepped on that little duck in that pen there. It's one of the little mallards. Skinned the dickens out of it, hurt its leg, and it'll probably survive, but it may have a limp all its life. We'll just have to see. We've had Daisy 3 years, going into the 4th year, so she's just a little over 3 years old. Kind of looks bad, a shedding there, but she can't stay away from me. She wants petted. Duke. I push back as far as I can with this camera. Just a big old pet. She don't know she's not human. Daisy, come here, Duke. Good girl. Good girl, Daisy. A little stink. Had to back off from her a little bit. The turkey that you may be able to hear, there he is. He wants to follow me everywhere. He's going to be a white turkey, and he thinks I'm his parent. Hey, Turk. Hey, Turkus, come here. Come here. He likes to be held. He don't really know what's going on. Tell you one thing, though, he's got a personality. If anything challenges him, he bows up to it. Daisy, leave her legs alone. He may graze on her like grazing on leaves here. I don't know if it's going to be a male or a female. I didn't even want a white one, but I wound up with it because that's all they had. All right, I'm going to put you down now, big boy, or girl, whatever you are. I'll stir these animals up a little bit so you can see them shoo on out of there. Come on, get up and walk a little bit. Come on, come here. Come here. Come on. Come here, geese. Come here, geese. Little fella in there's the hurt one. Chickens. I think those are my Rhode Island Reds, I think. That little brown leghorn, I don't know where he's at. He's a little more standoffish. That's turkey again. Well, hi, guy. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on, squirts. Come on. They thought I was their parent for quite a little while, but they're a little more standoffish than the turkey is. Still, he's less than 2 foot from me right now. Daisy's nudging me in the back as I shoot these pictures. Daisy, what are you doing? Get back away from the camera a little bit, girl. There's the other duck, the mate to the one that's hurt. They're supposed to be pretty little mallards. I hope they are. Turkey's back under my feet here. Come here, Turk. I didn't know a goose. Daisy, back up. Back up. Come on, get back. Daisy. You have to relief just a minute and I'll get it for you. Here. Go up and get it, Daisy. You can do it. Good girl. She likes leaves more than she likes grass. The little hurt duck's talking. How big that goose is. That goose is maybe 2 months old, but I don't think so. Look how they graze on that grass. And there's the big greenhead duck, and he's kind of mean and everything. I guess he's a 3-year-old. He thinks he runs the show around here, and I guess he does. Pretty duck. He's going off right now to chase one, yeah. Got too close to his area. But he's too damn big and fat to catch anything, so there's not much danger here. He don't mess much with that one right there. It's easy for him to tell it's his size he's dealing with there. I'm going to stop music a minute and see if I can find that little brown leghorn chicken. Well, while looking for that brown leghorn chicken, I remembered about the bees all over this thing. I don't know if you can see them in the picture or not, but and I don't know what this plant is. I'll back off and give you an overall shot of it. The bees are eating it up. I don't know if you can tell, but there's all kinds of honeybees right in there. I'm going to move up here on top of them. There's a fly. There's a bee, I believe, working one over. Look at that honeybee. Over here getting that grub. They're like that all over these things. Again, I don't know what kind of plant that is. It's a tree, actually. It's not a plant. Bees all over it. They seem to just love it. Okay, back to the animals. There's one of them little red chickens again. An old Turk. We'll name him Gizmo if it's a him. If he behaves, we'll just keep him. If he don't, we may have to eat him. There's a little brown leghorn chicken. She kind of stays to herself. Kind of hide. She's flighty. And they're doing a little lightweight eating. Our Big Daddy Rabbit. He's the only rabbit that's been around here all the time. I got him when he was a baby. He's laid in that tree there and hid in the shade. We're going to scare him out so you can see him here in just a minute. He's a right handsome rabbit with one ear up and one down. You might notice that chomp taken out of that one ear. That was done by another buck rabbit. I had so many rabbits running around here, I finally got rid of a bunch of them. And about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I bought another little one that I'll show you later, and I'm hoping it might be a female so they won't fight. He's a fine looking rabbit. He's been turned out in here with the other animals for about 1.5 years and just done fine. I'd heard they wouldn't do fine out on their own like this, not up in a cage, but it seemed to bother him any. He holds his own. About the only special favor he gets is an occasional carrot. Here comes Mr. Turkey approaching him. Don't seem to bother each other a lot. Must have a flea. Those 2 red chickens out here pulleting along together again. And there's Heidi Sue. There's the mother duck. She's been around here a couple of years. She just lays up a fool. I don't know really what kind she is. This duck, I guess. And of course, that's the one we picked for her mate, old big boy there. Another shot of Burr Bunny. Rabbit that I bought the other day, both ears down, flop ear, cute as it can be. We keep it in the cage because it's so darn little. Give you an idea how little. Look at the cage and then look at the rabbit. Pretty well pet. It'll let you just reach and pick it up and everything. You're scared it'll scratch the heck out of you. Kind of cute. We turned it out in the pen and something got its tail, so it's a tailless rabbit. I don't know if Daisy stepped on it or if that other rabbit bit it off or what, but it's missing. I don't know if it'll grow back or not. Picture Brutus. Told you earlier he's just a dog. He don't know he's a Rottweiler. He plays with all the animals, but he plays so rough he hurts them. Don't mean to, but he does. Hey, Brutus. What are you doing, boy? Flies is eating his ears up. I keep trying to put medication on that. He don't like it. He rubs it off on the dirt. He's basically a fine animal, though. You've seen a brown leghorn chicken, 2 Rhode Island Reds, there and there, and a turkey, and a Heidi dog, and a Daisy, and a rabbit. They play together a lot. 2 big ducks, 2 geese, and I don't know if you can tell it, but right in there is that other duck, right in there. And his little mate right here in this pen. We got pinned up because he's hurt. And a rabbit. A pinned up rabbit. And a brooder dog. And a bunch of horses that you can see parts of now. Not all of, but parts of. And you can hear a bunch of birds that you didn't see. We got barn swallows in the garage and on the front porch. Hay, neighbors, fences and junk pile, barn, stack of bricks. I can't find a little colt. I guess they're out in another part of the pasture all of a sudden. So you've got everything reviewed now. Going right by that tree, back to the house, and the back door. And the rest of this show will be inside. Okay, to put this in perspective, we are just getting the floors done in the living room. This has been a project we've been needing to get done for over a year. This is a living room, empty of furniture and everything. Got plastic up over that doorway. Now that's the doorway that goes into the pantry in the northeast corner of the living room. And as I pan, now that goes into the northwest corner, go out of the northwest corner of the living room and into the dining room. You might remember me mentioning earlier the dining room's on the northwest side of the house. That'd be the northwest corner of the living room. The front window's going out on the porch. And the front doors. And the other windows. And then that door you see there in the corner, that goes into the southwest bedroom, what we'd call a guest bedroom. There's the fireplace. We put a ton of money into that little deal. It was there, but it wasn't near that pretty when we started. I'm coming right on around. I'm standing, as you may have figured out, in the northeast corner of the living room. I'm not going out on that floor because it still needs another coat or two of varnish. It's dry right now. Door there goes into my bedroom, which is on the southeast corner of the house. Now the house is L-shaped, but that's the furthest south point, right there, right down this wall. To give you an idea, this room is 34 feet from the south to the north, meaning from down there where the fireplace is at, back up to where this wall and door is at, and straight across from where I'm standing is 24. So it's 24 this way, and 34 that way. And the porch is about 10 by 34. I want you to see this crown molding this little boy put in here for me. Chair rail and the baseboard. I'm not real whoopee proud of the floor, but hey, I guess it's alright. It's pine floor with stain on it. The corner broke off the fireplace. That marble brick's pretty easy. Got some extra pieces in the garage. One of these days we may fix it. The kitchen, which is north and just a little east of the living room. To understand this, why I'm kind of proud of it, you should have seen it when we started. Everything's black and white, black tile floors, black refrigerator, white sink, white cabinets. That area right there, that door goes into a big old pantry room. hard to see, I imagine, but we sure done a lot of renovating in this room. Standing with my back against that sink you saw earlier, shining back towards where I was standing earlier. Microwave and electric oven. Gas cooktop with an oven, cooktop with an oven below it. It's gas. A little breakfast nook. A window with birds here. And another window that'll show us the deer pen and the animals if we're careful. And there's Evelyn out in the deer pen. Well guys, this is about 2 weeks later after I've done the bees, maybe 3 weeks. I'm trying to get a little bit more stuff on film here for you, and I got to tell you a cute story about those bees. I got 5 swarms, and I had worked 4 of them without a bit of trouble till I got to the swarm that you see me in the pictures. And to make a long story short, Evelyn was filming that, and when the picture took out there at one point, she had run off because bees got all over her. And they got 4 in her hair, and she still didn't get stung. Anyway, those bees eat me up. They're about the meanest bees I have ever seen. They got up inside my helmet and inside my mask, and they eat my lunch. And I had to come in and redress and go back out there. And I went back out there just to pick up the camera, and they got me again. I got 4 stings out of the deal. That's one reason I watered them down. I couldn't get my smoker to work, so I just give them a bath instead. But that's why all the commotion about the bees, and what you saw was there at the end of that deal was where Evelyn was in the pickup looking through the windshield with this thing, showing y'all what was going on. Anyway, I finally got them settled down, but they are a mean swarm of bees. I'm in the house now, standing in the living room, and what I wanted you to see was this floor that I've had redone. This is getting along towards the end of the remodeling on this thing. This room is totally empty. It's the old big living room. The old boy that built it, or done it, screwed it up the first time, and I made him do it over. He done quite a bit better job, but not a perfect job the second time. I just hit the wrong button and turned it off. I wanted you to see the bookshelves across the end. There's the door going back towards my bedroom. Coming up that wall over there, around, that's the northeast corner of the living room. Northwest corner, that goes into the dining room. We redone that dining room floor, and then I'll come down this wall here. That's northwest. Doors are to the west, getting back towards southwest. And over here's a bedroom. Hold on a minute, we'll go in there. This is actually the biggest bedroom in the house. That goes back in the living room there. It was the master bedroom originally, but it didn't have much closet space. That's the only closet, and it's a small one. That goes into a bathroom. This was in the original old home. This was the master bedroom. It's probably about, 14 by 16 maybe, I don't know. And of course we had the floor in it done. So we've got hardwood or tile floors in every room in the house except one. And in it, we got carpet. Hold on a minute. We're in that little old bathroom. Turn on this light right here. This room right here is about the only room in the house that's pretty much like it was the day we bought the house. Original bathtub, the old bathroom heater. There was a door right there. We filled it with that shelves. That went into another bedroom, and I didn't want it that way, so we covered that up. That's the old original sink. We built a cabinet around it. Of course, there's a window to the outside. We added that light. That was Linda's doing. I didn't much care for it. This dude is what I call the pink bathroom. It's got tile all over it, and it's pink. We're out of here. I'm back in the living room, shining the camera towards my bedroom, and I can't remember if you've already seen some of this, but you may get it repetitious here. You may have to see it again. I'll go stumbling through this door. Make a slow turn here. I'm looking about due east here. This would have been a little office room in the original house, and I added it to the master bedroom. Over there where that door opens back, there's a big walk-in closet that goes back in there. This floors here were done about 6 or 8 months ago. This door right here, which is back to the north, if you go through it, walk down the back porch, about 30 feet, 40 feet, you go into the kitchen. That back porch is enclosed now. Go through these French doors here, which are open right now, and you can see my made-up bed, how nice I made it before I went to work this morning. And walking around. I'll walk around the end of the bed here. Y'all probably get dizzy watching this mess. Back out there into that I call that a dressing room. This room is not real big. It's not real small either. This room here was just a mess when we got the house, and I added this tub room to it. The tub's a little dirty too, but anyhow, it's red and black. I'm sure you can see, and white. I just walk in and then back out. That's all a great big old tub. And lavatory is red and black and white. I happen to think it's kind of cute. Looking back across the bed and back to that door, it goes out into the back porch area. That window faces west, coming out on around the wall. That one faces south. I'm pretty sure you've seen this thing in the daylight the other day, but there's the front porch at night, which I kind of think's pretty. That porch spans about 30-some feet. Motion light. Might as well get you a picture of that pretty moon. I don't know how well it'll come in, but it's sure coming up pretty over Tulsa tonight. Coming out of the east area, along about looks like about 9:15. That's what I was trying to figure out. About 9:15 p.m. And there's the moon, looking good. Coming up almost over the corner of the house, south corner. I'm standing in the front yard looking back east. There she is. I'm showing you a picture right down the fireplace mantel. I'm standing kind of over in the southwest corner of the room. Panning and a spanning the walls, coming around. Northeast corner. Northwest corner, looking into the dining room. And then coming back down the wall. Front door, and then come on around here, and here's the window over here real close to me. I'm kind of proud of this floor. I just hope it holds up good and we don't damage it getting the furniture back in. I'll get you another picture of it when I get the furniture back in here. I decided to go down right in the north end of the house, right against that window in the dining room, and shine her back down through the house. From here to the fireplace is about 50 feet. The lights in the dining room. That goes into the pantry, and then you make a left and go into the kitchen. This room is going to get paper from the floor up to that chair rail. Then it's going to get an 8-inch border right above that, right above the chair rail all the way around. And then it's going to get an 8 or 10-inch border down from the ceiling. So the only wall that will be white, there'll be that area right in there, and then all this down here will be some kind of paper. All the way around. Same deal. And of course the flow. This is a pantry room. In other words, in the good old days, I guess this is where the old gal put her canned goods. Nothing but closet space. And then that deal right there that you see, I got that with the house, and that goes back in the dining room when we get ready to get back on these floors. And all of those cabinets in there are, I guess, for canned goods. We use them for bedding and few canned goods and things like that. There's a lot, I don't know how many, but a lot of cabinets in that room. That's all it is, just a big old room full of cabinets for the canned goods. I don't remember if you saw this room earlier in this tape or not either, but this is a room that was at one time, all it was a utility room. She had a washer and dryer sitting where the couch is at there, the old lady that owned this house when we bought it. That door over there goes outside. That door straight back goes into Jeremy's bedroom. That door to the left is one that I've added, and behind it is where, or into the left there, is where the washer and dryer and stuff's at now. And then that door right there, which used to go out onto a back porch, and we put a bathroom on that back porch. Right there. This room is long and narrow. I'm going to walk down to the other end of it, shine back toward the kitchen. Standing down at Jeremy's door now, looking back towards the kitchen. This room's 10 to 12 feet wide and about 18 feet long. Long and narrow. If it was daylight, I'm looking out, there's the washer and dryer, and I'm looking out, and through that window you can look right into the deer pen, where all the animals are at. Of course, there's the door going into the backyard. A lot of doors in this house. This room has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors opening into it. Walking in a circle. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up this show and tell with another shot of the living room, just so I got time to bullshit a little bit. I'm going to wrap this one up and send it to you tomorrow. And if you like it, I'll do more. And if you don't, I expect you to tell me the truth, and I won't do more, or I won't be talking so much, or I won't make them as long, just whatever you want. Or if you don't want them, I understand. Nothing's more boring than to watch a bunch of crap you're not interested in. Or listen to someone run their jaw that you don't want to hear. So with that in mind, I'll sign this little dude off here, give you one more look at that crown molding that I'm mighty proud of. And then I'll go back there and just kind of review this thing and get it off to you tomorrow. I'll be talking to you. Bye-bye.